Israeli officials reported that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has already made a decision to move forward with implementing a new agreement regarding Gaza, despite objections within his government. Israel's Channel 13 clarified, citing officials, that members of the Israeli delegation in Doha will work in the coming days to bridge the remaining gaps in the deal. U.S. officials told Axios that President Donald Trump wants to reach an agreement with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu during their upcoming meeting tonight. The site reported that Trump is attempting to leverage the momentum of the Israel-Iran ceasefire to secure a breakthrough in Gaza. After 4 months of failed negotiations, there has been renewed momentum in recent days for a ceasefire. Turkey's Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan has said that Israel's war on Gaza has reversed decades of development in the Middle East and warned of global repercussions if the aggression continues. Speaking at the BRICS summit in Brazil, Fidan emphasized that the Palestinian tragedy is central to discussions on multilateralism and called the crisis a threat to the legitimacy of international peace and security institutions. The Palestinian Health Ministry has reported at least 105 deaths and 356 injuries in Gaza over the past 24 hours. Since Israel broke the ceasefire with Hamas on March 18th, over 6,900 Palestinians have been killed and 24,500 wounded. Since the war began in October 2023, Israeli attacks have killed more than 57,500 Palestinians and injured over 136,000, with many still trapped under the rubble. The Palestinian Foreign Ministry has welcomed the BRICS summit's call for an immediate unconditional ceasefire in Gaza and Israel's full withdrawal from occupied Palestinian territories. The Foreign Ministry praised the BRICS leaders' final communique from the Rio de Janeiro summit for supporting a lasting ceasefire in Gaza. The ministry urged urgent international intervention to stop Israel's aggression, calling for a political path based on international law and the Arab Initiative. It stressed that achieving Palestinian rights is key to regional stability and peace in the world. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi stated that Iran considers holding a referendum with the participation of all original inhabitants of Palestine, including Jews, Christians and Muslims, a fair solution to the Palestinian issue. He added that Iran has expressed reservations regarding the two-state solution proposal in the final statement of the BRICS Leaders Summit and has formally registered its objections by submitting a memorandum on the matter. Israeli authorities seized 74 hectares of land near Ramallah in the occupied West Bank to expand an illegal outpost. Declared state land, the move aims to legalize and enlarge the settlement built on Palestinian villages. Since early 2023, Israel has seized over 2,500 hectares under this designation to tighten control over the area. Israeli bulldozers have begun demolishing Palestinian homes in Al-Murabba'a neighborhood of the Tul Karam refugee camp, targeting over 100 residential buildings. Although the Israeli Supreme Court initially issued a temporary freeze on demolitions, it later permitted resumption it deemed necessary for security or military reasons, according to Adala, a legal rights group. Bassam Zakou, the director of the Medical Relief Society in Gaza, has stated that severe food shortages are forcing some Palestinians to eat grass and leaves. Zakou called the situation unsustainable and urged for urgent action to end the crisis. The lack of baby milk and widespread hunger affect everyone in the besieged enclave. Gaza is facing a surge in meningitis cases among children, overwhelming hospitals strained by 21 months of conflict. Poor sanitation, overcrowding, disrupted vaccinations, and shortages of antibiotics are driving the outbreak. Hospitals report hundreds of new cases with limited space for isolation. Aid remains limited despite a partial blockade lift, with the WHO urging urgent delivery of medical supplies to contain the crisis. Meanwhile, Gaza's field hospitals are facing a critical blood shortage as supplies run dangerously low under the ongoing Israeli siege. Authorities say only a third of the needed blood units have been delivered. Dr. Marwan Al-Hams, director of Gaza's field hospitals, confirmed they received just 3,500 units but need over 10,000. He urged residents in the occupied West Bank to help, though Israeli restrictions are blocking deliveries. The shortage further deepens the humanitarian crisis, straining Gaza's medical facilities. Israeli airstrikes on Gaza have killed several displaced Palestinians, including women and children, in new attacks across Gaza City. Israeli fighter jets targeted a tent sheltering civilians near a mosque in southern Gaza City on Monday evening, leaving multiple dead and wounded. In a separate strike, 2 members of the Ramlawi family were killed when their home in Al Tufah was hit, with others critically injured. Earlier attacks in Gaza City and Rafah claimed 3 more lives and left several wounded as strikes continue to devastate densely populated areas. A group of French jurists has filed an urgent legal appeal to block a military shipment bound for Israel. The group, Jurists for the Respect of International Law, says that the delivery could implicate France in violations of international law, especially over the Gaza conflict. They warn the authorization such transfers may amount to complicity in crimes denounced by both the ICJ and the ICC. The shipment reportedly originated from a Swedish company. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has resumed food aid deliveries in the Strip after temporarily halting operations due to an attack injuring 2 U.S. contractors. The suspension affected 4 aid sites, but services have now restarted. Aid workers say that many in Gaza remain cut off from reliable updates. Since May 27th, at least 750 Palestinians have died in attacks targeting aid distribution points. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs has warned that Gaza's food system has completely collapsed under the blockade. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres expressed deep concern over the worsening humanitarian crisis, renewing calls for an immediate ceasefire and unconditional release of all detainees. Guterres said that families are risking their lives searching for food as acute malnutrition rates among children have doubled and infant formula supplies are nearly gone.